goes to the record.
I'd like to call this meeting of the Town Council to order. Please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence for our troops serving abroad. Mrs. Panos, the prayer, please.
O Lord, bless thy servants in the ministry of public affairs who serve thee in this chamber. Give them quiet minds and hearts that they may hear thy voice. Help them to know when to speak, when to be silent. Give them strength to oppose the wrong and uphold the right. And grant that they have a good conscience and soul at peace with thee and with one another.
Please be seated.
This meeting is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice has been given to the newspaper and notice has been posted in public places. Next open public meeting of the council will be held on Monday, July 13, 2015 at 7:30 p.m. Dr. Anderson?
Present.
Mr. Butler?
Present.
Mr. Cahill?
Here.
Mr. Green? Here. Mr. Mollis?
Here.
Mrs. Panos?
Here.
Mr. Rosencrantz? Mrs. Sohar? Here. President Walker?
Here.
8 here. 8 present.
We're going to begin with a proclamation, a certificate of recognition awarded to Old Bridge High School student Andrew Sangupka for his participation in the 2015 Future Municipal Leaders Scholarship Competition.
Thank you, Council. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. At this time, I'd like to call Andrew up to the microphone, please. The certificate of recognition presented to Andrew Sangupta, in recognition and appreciation of your participation in the Lewis Bay Future Municipal Leaders Scholarship Competition. Congratulations on being chosen as a state finalist. Your essay was well-written and successfully articulated the theme, what my mayor and governing body does best. Andrew, congratulations. Council President, we had announced I had sent the copies of the certificate. Andrew was here. He would like to read his letter, if that would be okay.
Oh, that would be good, yes.
Here you go.
I always hear about President Obama or Governor Christie, but the government that most affects my daily life is my municipal government. My local government in Old Bridge, New Jersey establishes speed limits, funds the schools that I have attended since I was a child, and ensures the safety of lives through the police and fire departments. Each state grants local government their rights through charters. Old Bridge, New Jersey is a very large town with a total population of about 65,000. As one of the largest municipalities in New Jersey, Old Bridge has farms, beaches, and even racetracks. As one can imagine, it is incredibly challenging for the town's government to connect with the citizens of Old Bridge. Despite these obstacles, the local government of Old Bridge does a brilliant job bringing the town's residents together. Each year, Old Bridge Township's municipal government sponsors a multitude of recreational events to bring the town closer together and allow citizens to voice their opinions. Old Bridge Day is held annually, in which families come together at the municipal complex to enjoy live entertainment, games, rides, and great food. The town also hosts a haunted house and Halloween spooktacular every year, as well as Saltwater Day by the beach. These events are very popular and the citizens love them. A memorable experience that I had with my municipal government was when I was 8 years old and my family and I attended Old Bridge's annual Apple Festival at the town's municipal complex. It was a fun-filled experience in which attendees ate succulent apple dishes, drank delicious apple cider, and learned about the famous apple orchards and distilleries of Old Bridge. The town mayor at the time, Mayor Phillips, was at the event. My family and I expected that he would make a quick speech and leave, but we were very surprised when we saw him walking toward us. He offered me a chocolate bar, which at 8 years old I gladly accepted, and spoke to my parents for a long time. Instead of trying to promote his re-election, the mayor allowed my parents to voice their concerns about the town and offer suggestions. On another occasion, Mayor Phillips actually visited my neighborhood and cleaned people's lawns. These experiences made me realize how passionate and caring the municipal government of Old Bridge can be. The local government in Old Bridge also does a lot to preserve and develop the town. The town council and local officials constantly participate in cleanup efforts, which keeps Old Bridge looking great. In the past few years, the municipal government has worked to develop parks such as Waterfront Park and Menino Park, as well as the local YMCA. The fact that the local government cares so much about the environment and recreation is incredible. Old Bridge is not perfect, but because of the municipal government, it is getting better every day.
Thank you, Council. Congratulations.
Thank you, Andrew. Congratulations. The bill list, Dr. Anderson, please.
Yes, Council President. Bill list, combined meeting, June 29th, 2015. Accounts payable, June 29th, 2015. $1,885,741.34.
Move it.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call.
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar?
Yes.
President Walker?
Yes.
8 yes.
Payroll, June 19th, 2015. $835,159.60.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call.
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar? Yes. President Walker?
Yes.
8 yes.
Payroll overtime. June 19th, 2015. $36,896.99.
I'll second.
Mr. Marion, can we have a breakdown, please?
Thank you, Council President. As Dr. Anderson indicated, the payroll ending June 19th, 2015, total amount $36,896.99. If you look through the packet of information that was included with your council agendas, you're going to see a uptick again in subcode official. As we talked about before, the season is here, so the subcode and construction office is busy. You're also going to see some increases in the the road department, as well as recreation, for work to be performed, as well as some grants. I think this was a click it or ticket month, as well as for our DWI enforcement. Going to the police department, the payroll ending 6/19/2015 represents 497.50 man and woman hours for the department, or $29,980.30. Of that amount, $28,334.53 is for sworn officers. If you subtract grants that I mentioned before, in the amount of $1,494.92, and earned time off, which is contractual, $5,953.93. Total overtime in the police department, $20,885.68. We still have five officers out for medical or other reasons. And also, we've had some communications radio issues, of which we've had some overtime for sergeants, more so this month than lieutenants.
Okay, anybody have any questions for Mr. Marion about the overtime? Roll call.
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos? Mrs. Sohar? Yes. President Walker?
Yes.
8 yes.
That concludes the bill list.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Public hearing and ordinances for second reading. H1, liquor license renewal of plenary retail consumption license number 1209-33-037-007, Chi-Chi 35 Corporation, TA Diamond Girls. Is anyone here for Diamond Girls?
My name is James Adonisio. Good evening, everybody. I'm with the law firm of Rudnick Adonisio, Papa, and Kazaza, and we're here to answer any questions the council might have regarding this particular liquor license. My client is in the building. I'm prepared to answer any questions if I can't satisfy any inquiries.
Okay.
Thank you for the opportunity to come before the council.
Now, these have conditions. Is your client willing to adhere to the
Yes,
conditions?
same conditions as been associated with the building. It was understood that after Hurricane Sandy, we had a lot of difficulties with the insurance industry, which did not want to make good on their insurance contracts with regard to our damage claim. That took a long time. Then we were in negotiations to potentially sell it to somebody on a non-disclosure agreement. That fell through. Then we had hoped to open up by September. It got delayed for a variety of reasons. But the bottom line is we're now open. We're advertising for bachelor and bachelorette parties. The council certainly knows the history of this particular bar, and we've had 2 such events at our place of business, and we're open to the extent that any bachelor or bachelorette party would come in. Other than that, we're not operating on a day-to-day basis. Communication has been made with my client as well as the detective that called him last week, and he answered all the questions satisfactorily. I don't see that detective here, so I think everything was answered correctly. So what we're seeking is to remain open, have the liquor license granted for the next calendar year, till next year, and we're going to advertise for these particular parties. And right now, unless the council wants it otherwise, we'll keep it at that low level, quiet, no trouble, and we've had 2 such parties, one in May and one in June.
Does anyone from the public wish to speak on this license? Okay, I'll close the public session. Any council have any?
Just to clarify, so the conditions that we have on this apply, even though you're changing the venue, if you will, the process, the conditions still apply?
Conditions do apply. Now, in years past, we had the requirement of patrolling the parking lot on a Friday and Saturday. These parties are being offered on a Sunday. The video surveillance will remain in place if we have a party in case the police need to investigate some untoward event in the parking lot. We'll do that. I don't know whether or not for these kind of parties, the general public's not invited. You know, they're usually with, you know, a small bus of people come in, they stay at the place, and then, you know, they get back on the bus. So while we'll agree to conditions to safeguard the community at large, these parties that we're operating under really don't need patrols of the parking lot. It should be noted that in the event we expand it, and we could, to open up on a Friday and Saturday night, we'll certainly be bound by the conditions the council felt were appropriate since the inception of our license.
Any other council members have questions?
So just so I'm clear, so I understand the Friday, Saturday thing,
All right.
if it's on a Sunday. But item number 2, the parking lot to be patrolled from 9 PM till closing. That still applies even though it's on a Sunday, correct?
We'll accept that, certainly. Again, generally speaking, the only time somebody will leave our bar, once they come in for this party, is to maybe have a cigarette or talk privately with another person. Generally, these parties, are bachelor and bachelorette parties, are all well-known individuals within the friendship ring that aren't going to be out there causing an interaction with the general public. Nobody's going to be allowed in the place but for these parties, unless we decide to open up on a Friday and Saturday, and then all these conditions would apply, and we're certainly prepared to meet them.
Well, but again, I want to be clear. These are the conditions we're voting on. So if there's something that goes on Sunday, to me, it literally says from 9 PM till closing. I would assume it'd be patrolled from 9 PM till closing
Well,
if it happens on a Sunday. I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
the police reviewed this, correct? So we agree to that. So that's what I'm voting on, so I assume that's what it's going to,
Yes, sir, Mr. Cahill will accept that,
Thank you.
certainly. And then- We accept them, certainly.
Thank you.
And that'll be part of our, the resolution if passed.
thank you.
Anybody else having? Mrs. Panos?
It says the utilization of a video surveillance system to record the parking lot and had the capacity to store images for 7 days.
Yes.
What happens after 7 days? Don't you have like a case they could be?
It becomes a very expensive proposition. We're not a casino that has the wherewithal to maintain a vault.
Oh, you have to speak into the mic. They can't hear you at home.
We're not a very large organization that has the capability of maintaining these tapes. To understand that that was originally passed, we were operating 7 days a week, and we kept the tapes for a period of 1 week. We've had one episode in many years where the police did come and we had the tapes available. So generally speaking, if there's an event that needs to be looked at, the policing authorities or someone else comes to us within a few days and it's safeguarded. That's what the police thought was fair and square. We agreed to do that. After 7 days, it does get erased.
Okay, it's just, that's what it says here, and I can understand that. That was a curiosity
Yeah,
question.
sure.
Thank you.
Well, Captain Weiss is here. Captain Weiss, are you happy with these conditions? Would you come forward, please? Just hear from him.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. That's right.
The conditions that have been set forth need to remain in effect, whether they're operating 1 day a week or 7 days a week. They're the conditions that you're voting on, and unless you're changing those conditions, then you just need to vote on those there. They have been effectively not open. They've had a couple parties there. We weren't aware of them until after the fact. They were quiet. We've had no interaction with them beyond our detective conducting some routine inspections, and because they weren't open, we couldn't even conduct the inspections. So I know that the next time they open, they're going to be contacting us, and we'll come in and conduct those routine inspections that we do. But we've had no issues. We're not looking for any additional conditions on this. Those conditions that were there were satisfactory based on the events that occurred several years ago. We all agreed upon them, and we're fine with those at this point. If there's an event, if something occurs there, a crime or something occurs in the parking lot, we'll be there within a day or so, and we'll seize the tapes if necessary.
Thank you.
Anyone have any questions?
Yes.
for the Yes.
I don't have a question. I just want to thank Captain Weiss. He says exactly what I was going to mention, that the conditions, they are what they are, and we're not negotiating any conditions tonight, despite the fact that you may have changed your hours and your venue or whatever. It is what it is. Whatever we approved in the past, that continues. And thank you very much for spelling that out. I do have a question. I know in the past, the council members have gotten a stack of possible violations for different,
Police reports.
Police
We
reports,
usually
yeah.
try to give you those reports in advance. I believe you may have just gotten them tonight. I apologize if
I
they
don't-
didn't get them.
They didn't get 'em.
Oh, they didn't
Got
get
'em
them,
late
okay. I know we
today.
did prepare them and had them available today. There were none for this establishment.
okay, so if you're, I'm glad that you're here so we can maybe
There were none for
refer
this
to-
establishment, and let me correct that. There may have been one or two, but there were two. And I can tell you what they were. They were an alarm, and then they were the victims of an air conditioner theft that had occurred there. So it was nothing related to the safety of the public. It was a false alarm and a theft.
Any other questions? Oh, okay, then we could, Captain Weiss, you want to stay up here for the next
I
one,
might
just in
as well,
case?
yeah.
Yes. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Roll call?
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill? Yes. Mr. Green? Yes. Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Pano?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohor?
Yes.
President Walker?
Yes.
8 yes.
Thank you.
Very much. Everybody have a good evening.
You too. Next, H2, liquor license renewal of plenary retail consumption license number 1209-33-036-008 for Riche Incorporated TA Old Bridge Bar and Liquors. Is anyone here from, okay, please come forward. Please, you will sit or talk at the mic, whatever you feel more comfortable with. Okay, you will have conditions as well on your license, are you?
Yeah.
Yes, your name for the record also. Could it give you your name
Mine, Dilip Patel,
and your address?
24B, Route 34, South Amboy, New Jersey, 08879.
Okay, thank you. Is anyone here from the public wish to speak on this license? Okay, we'll close the public portion. Anyone from the council have any questions about this? For the yes.
Are these conditions that have been put on in the past, or are these new conditions?
No.
I just don't remember them.
These are recurring, these have been there for a while. We had some incidents some years ago, and when we came for renewal, I believe we were recommended these to the council, and the council put these conditions on the license. And it's basically just the video surveillance that occurred. Very similar kind of situation to what had occurred at Diamond Girls also. And we've had no calls for unruly patrons or disruption of the public or public safety there. There may, as I said, there may have been alarms, but I eliminated those from the study that we did of them, so they had nothing either. You're welcome.
Anyone else have any questions? No? Okay. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Is there a
Second it.
Okay. Roll call?
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar? Yes. President Walker?
Yes.
8 yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You can do that.
Captain Weiss, would you like to stay there for, we could just move ahead and do all the liquor licenses?
can do
This way
them
you
all.
could,
Yep.
we have you here. We have a liquor licenses L1 through LL16. Does anyone need to separate them so we could all move them together, but does anyone need to separate any of them first?
Yes, I have to separate 14 and 15.
Anyone else?
I have a question. I notice a lot more liquor license renewals that are necessary for us to act on, and I think that the term expires tomorrow, June 30th?
No.
When?
The state has given an extension because they're done on the computer now. They have to go in and they have to do state
Right.
forms. So they've given them an extension until September.
September?
So a lot of them we don't have yet because they have not gone in and done their applications online. Some of them we have tax clearance. The only thing they have to do by tomorrow is pay the township the fee. If they don't pay the township the fee, then the township closes them down. We've gotten the fee on all of them.
You got the fee on all of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's, so, when you say September, is that the end of September or September 1st?
Probably around the 15th or 16th of September, the state says.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else need to separate anything besides Dr. Anderson? Do I have a motion to move the balance?
I move it.
Roll call?
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar? Yes. President Walker?
Yes.
8 yes.
LL14, Dr. Anderson?
I just wish to abstain for voting on both 14 and 15.
I'll move it as a package.
Okay. Roll call?
Dr. Anderson?
Abstain.
Mr. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Abstain?
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar? Yes. President Walker?
Yes.
6 yes, 2 abstentions.
Thank you, Captain Weiss. Okay, we're going to move back in order here. Ordinance for second reading, ordinance number 1, ordinance number 2015-09, authorizing township to waive construction permit fees associated with underground storage tank removal for township permits participating in Superstorm Sandy Blue Acres buyout program.
Take a motion.
I'll second it.
Anyone have any questions or comments or anything? Okay, roll call?
We have to go to the public
Yeah.
now?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Anyone here for the public wish to speak on this? Okay, I'll close the public portion.
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar? Yes. President Walker?
Yes.
8 yes.
Preliminary public comments to council subject to the following conditions and restrictions. During the preliminary public portion of the meeting, any person may address the township council on one subject for a maximum period of 5 minutes. Any such person desiring to speak during the preliminary public portion shall first sign a list maintained by the township clerk for such purpose. Comments during the preliminary public comment portion of the meeting shall not encompass second reading ordinances or any other matter for which comment or a public hearing is to occur at the meeting. Has anyone signed up?
Yes. Richard and Maria?
How are you, council?
You'd have to give your name and address for the record.
Richard Hanasidi, 331 Goron Circle, Parlin, New Jersey. I'm one of the store owners over in Town Square Shopping Center, where the construction's being done right now on the overpass. And a couple of the other owners are here now tonight. And we all have signed petitions to do something about the overpass and about the construction that's going on, because it is affecting our businesses. Me, myself, I'm only there 14 months, and I'm being affected like $500 a day in business. A couple of the other ones are in here. It's all on the paper right here that we have. But everybody's being affected, and it's hurting us, and all of us in the shopping center. And we'd like to see if the council could do something or lead us in the direction where we could change everything and get something done with the Turnpike Authority, whoever's running the show. Because, you know, it's, the eastward bound traffic is only allowed to go eastward, not westward. My customers that are on the other side of the overpass and their customers are not coming back. And a creature of habit that humans are, once they go in a different direction, they're gonna keep on going that one direction and they won't come back. You know, it's a 10-minute to 15-minute loop going around because you sit on traffic on 35. They could go up the Parkway, but nobody realized they could do that loop, and it's an 8-minute loop. But somebody to go out of their way for a 2-minute ride, they're not going to do anymore. They're going to change directions of what they do. You know, and I wish and I hope somebody could do something or help us and direct us in the right direction where we could go and take this further.
You could leave them with over here for the clerk.
Yeah.
And we could give it to the administration. I don't know, Chris, did you want to speak on it? I know it's by the state project.
Yeah, actually, I spoke to some of the folks in the audience earlier. My suggestion is, I know that there's been some concerns. I think it goes back to notification as well as the project itself. What we would probably put them in contact with the project managers or the liaison to either the Turnpike Authority. Also, Mr. Mamakis is here tonight, that he can interface with them. I'm not really sure what we can do. The project's underway. I think there was some concerns regarding even just the construction of it. But we should maybe get them a contact person to reach out to from the state and then keep council apprised of what we're doing.
Okay.
How about the senator?
I'll have him leave this up with the clerk and give it to you. And then Mr. Mackis is in the audience also.
Mr. Mamakis has entered the building, yes.
Yes,
He's in the back.
he'll be able to speak with you.
We'll get some kind of compensation from somebody, whether state or whatever government could do something, because it is hurting us, and we don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, it's, like we said, we never received notification at all. Everybody else did in the area except us. Not that it's from you guys, but somebody dropped the ball somewhere. So, okay, that's all I have to say. I don't know if anybody
say
else in my
something?
group has to say anything, but.
Sir, you have a New Jersey state senator in this town. Why don't you reach out to him? You have a New Jersey state senator in this town, Senator Sam Thompson. He's over on 516. I think you know him. You should maybe give him a call.
Okay. You know, we'll do that. I'll call Governor Christie's office, whatever I have to do.
Well, he's local.
Okay. He's local?
I mean, he's in town, so you guys are in town.
Okay. That'll be great. Somebody, should I
Yes,
give this somebody make
if you
copies?
leave it
or
right
do you
here.
need 'em
Yes.
Thank you.
Dan,
Oh, yes. Mr. Butler, go ahead.
I want to ask the gentleman, I want to know which overpass he's referring to.
He's referring to the one that goes over the Parkway by Lawrence Harbor by the Pizza Hut.
Okay, all right,
Yes.
okay.
Has anyone else signed up to speak?
Yes. Mr. David Shaw?
You have to come up to, you signed up to speak.
My name is David Shah. I'm a Dunkin' Donut owner. 3 Dunkin' Donut in Old Bridge Township, altogether 9. Lawrence Harbor, Town Square Mall, and Palm Plaza Catering by Palm Plaza. And it is affecting business drastically. It might, we have to declare bankruptcy, because if it is continue like this, and we would like to see if the township can help us.
Okay, well, we have the information. We're going to see what we could do. And Mr. Marion's you're going to get back with them. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Has anyone else?
Dennis Chu?
My name is Dennis Chu, and I'm representing the landlord office for Town Square of Old Bridge Shopping Center. There are 23 stores. There are several stores here, and other stores owners busy tonight, cannot come. We landlord office never received a notice regarding this overpass construction. And ever since they started construction several weeks, we suddenly start the phone call almost every day, all the crying from the stores. 80% of the store affected us so badly. They said that your landlord, we have no rental, no money to pay you on time, because half of their customer on the other side of overpass cannot come anymore. And for many stores, you can imagine Dunkin' Donuts, bagel, Chinese restaurant, Japanese restaurant, liquor, dry cleaner owner here, the laundromat owners here, you don't want to drive 10 minutes, take that tour from the 35, back for 20 minutes. That's why they lost half of the business, half of the direction residential. They are also, those customers, they are very inconvenient as well. Not only our store, shopping center lost so much business. Yeah, it's the shopping center, we paying $130,000 property tax per year. And we really will be very grateful if the township can bring our voice to Parkway Authority, Turnpike Authority. It's not they started the construction, there's nothing they can do. Our lawyer called the Parkway Authority, find somebody in charge, said, why are you doing this? Why one direction? 24/7, one direction. And they said they have a traffic engineer started. In rush hour, the traffic will be back to, if two directions take turn, traffic will be back to traffic light, they said. Then what about not rush hour, if it's not rush hour? For example, can they make a change? Like Saturday, Sunday, no rush hour, they can make two turns. Two police vehicles there every day anyway. And they can make the 1 minute each direction, right? And also weekday from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock, it's not rush hour. They can make a two direction. Because it's not only this, the problem is this is going to last 1 year. It's not like 1 month. Everybody can stand 1 month, but they cannot stand 2 months. I heard that they already delayed 1 month, so that will be 13 months for sure. So, and another worry is for our tenants store is those customers, like 500 apartment over there, the other side of overpass, cannot come this direction anymore unless you go 10 minutes, right? So they get used to find Dunkin' Donuts, bagel, Chinese restaurant, laundry, dry cleaner on the other side. So even after 13 months, they get a habit, they get used to it, they not necessarily come back. So from short and long term, they're going to lose business so badly. And we have so many small businesses already struggling. It's hard for many stores, it's hard for us to collect rental, already struggling. We had to make so many phone calls. They said, sorry, we have no business. Now suddenly this happened for 13 months. It's going to kill many stores. I'm afraid that they're going to out of business. So we really are so frustrated. We don't know what to do. So we will be so grateful, ask Township to do something. We know it's not the Township in charge. It's Turnpike Parkway Authority. But at least can bring our voice to them. They can do something change. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why they didn't start to do at night construction? Why they have to do it at daytime? They want to save money, right? But they save money. They don't care. All the stores are local business. I talked to a Walgreens. It's not our shopping center. We're behind the Walgreens. Walgreens manager said they lost business too. Quick Check, CVS, 7-Eleven, everybody lost so bad. It's 13 months. That's a problem, you know. So we don't know what to do, really. We're so hopeless and frustrated. So hopefully Township can do something, help us. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ronnie and Jay Rosenzweig.
Hi, good evening. I'm Jay Rosenzweig, and I live on 9 Tuscarora Circle. Tuscarora Circle is off of Cindy Street, and it's behind the Bagel Boy complex. And our streets have been, curbing has been in very bad repair since about the early 2000s. Our spokesperson, Marge Arneo, has been in constant touch with Rich Green, the mayor, the assistant engineer, and we've been told that, yeah, they know about it, but budgets keep getting cut. So Marge couldn't make it here this evening, so I'm here on her behalf just to speak our mind on it. And the big problem is that it's not every curb that's bad, but all the aprons. When they built I'm in Madison Heights, and when they built the curbs, it had about a 16 or an 18-inch apron that went out from the curb into the blacktop. And those are really getting destroyed. There are sections of curbs, especially on the western side of Tuscarora, where there's huge chunks out of it. I don't know what can be done. I know Marge has been constantly contacting the mayor's office and Mr. Green, and I know there's budget problems. But we're wondering whether some remedial repairs can be done, especially in the areas where there's chunks of concrete all over the place. I mean, cars go by, the chunks get lifted up and go flying all over the place. Last winter, actually the past 2 winters, I've had snow blowers, the augers totally destroyed. Last winter was a very bad winter, and we had to go out and buy a new snow blower. It was so bad. In the spring, when the ice and snow finally melted, there was my entire front. I have about 225 feet of sidewalk, and there were chunks of concrete and stone all over the sidewalk apron area, of grass. So just wondering whether there's anything being planned with the curbs. Fortunately, our street is a low-traffic street. We don't have potholes, thank God, but we have this terrible curbing problem. And in fact, I guess about 10 or 12 years ago, they built 2 houses across from us, and the township, I assume, made the builders put in new curbing, and they paved an area maybe 2 feet or so from the curb. And it's fine. I mean, if there isn't budgeting to totally replace, well, maybe we can repair a little bit until maybe there'll be some money. But most of the streets in our area have been replaced. I know there are a few that still aren't, but the big bulk of them have been replaced. So I would hopefully we could get some remedy done before the winter.
Yeah, Mr. Rosenzweig, is that how you pronounce your name? Rosen? So, yeah, thank you for coming. I've been discussing with Mrs. Arneo goes back to 2009, if she ever sent you the emails.
Yes, I have
Okay.
all correspondence.
And the one thing about Ward 5 in our area, Madison Heights, is that the curbs are deteriorating, and it's been an issue with me, to get not only this administration, but prior administrations to put enough money in so that we can have all the curbs replaced. But unfortunately, as you know, it takes money. The one thing also I want to point out is that in the township, they don't go out and repair, like, say, one house or 2 houses or 3 houses on a block. They want to do all one block at a time. And
that's the way it's been done.
yeah, and as a matter of fact, I spoke to Mr. Marion today, and he gave an update, so maybe Mr. Marion can explain to Mr. Rosenzweig exactly
Sure.
where we stand.
Hi, thanks. Good evening, Mr. Rosenzweig. In talking to Mr. Green, actually, Ms. Arneo did provide us with all the correspondence going back to 2009, so Mr. Green and I had a conversation today. The capital budget itself, when we had gone out this year, is the first time probably where we actually have the proper project sequencing. And in the past, that hasn't always been the case. It's taken us basically several years from a capital budget perspective to catch up. For example, doing 2012 road work in 2014 as an example. So this year, in terms of curbing, there's a portion, I think the 2 big areas that Mr. Green has pointed out in Ward 5, I'm going to say is Seneca and Tuscarora Circle, which are scheduled for the 14, Seneca in particular. The 14 budget, which is underway now, should be done by mid-August. The Tuscarora Circle is scheduled for curbing replacement in the 2015 bond ordinance, which is in place and should go out to bid in July, with a completion date, I'm not going to hedge my bets, I'm going to say October, November. So it is included, it has been discussed, we've talked about it through various capital budgets. Again, when we talk about budgeting money's tight, I have to go back to tell you decades of improper planning do not get you a capital budget that's going to meet the needs of the people and the infrastructure where it is. So we've really worked very diligently, I think, as a council, mayor, administration, of trying to come up with a viable plan. Road resurfacing, drainage projects, we've really kind of moved ourselves forward. So if we get 2015 projects completed in 15, I may retire by the end of this year. But in this case, though, that is the sequence and the schedule. As we get toward the end of the contract, I get a little nervous. I know Onondaga, I always say the name's wrong.
That's right. Close.
Which happened this time with Seneca. But it is in the plan. We do, believe me, Mr. Green and I speak pretty frequently. And we do have Tuscarora Circle in for the 15 bond ordinance.
Oh, that's very, very good. We appreciate it. And
Just
thank
don't
you.
thank us till
Again,
it's done,
we're
mister.
not-
Don't thank me till it's done.
But again, we don't complain. I mean, we had one spokesperson, and, you know, we realize, I mean, we're taxpayers here. I've been here almost 49 years, so, I mean, we know what's going on.
For the original owner,
Yes,
God bless.
Those are vintage curbs.
vintage curves. Okay, thank you very much.
Have questions too, you can always contact the business administrator or also the township engineer's office, and we'll be happy to try to at least tell you where we are. Plans sometimes, you know, especially with weather, we found out on Cressida with our curbing where we hit some issues last week. So, but stay in touch with us and we'll be happy to. And I know Mrs. Arneo is definitely on my list now, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, then, the next one, I can't read the name, but the address is 345C Mataron Road, and it's regarding Town Square. Okay.
My name is Bharat Khetia, and I live in 7 Sassafras Court, North Brunswick, New Jersey. I've been at the Town Square Mall since like 2002. I haven't seen anything like this. We're the same thing what they have said. I'm not going to repeat everything. Since it started, I think the June
Could you
1st
talk into the mic?
Yeah,
Lift
lift
it.
the
Yeah,
mic,
there you
yeah.
go.
Thank you. You could take it out.
Yeah. Okay. Since they started in June, I think June 1st, and we started noticing the difference. I said, "What's going on?" And when I found out that the bridge is going to be closed for 12 months, and could be more than that. So I had some folks who work in DOT, and I called them. I said, "What's going on?" And they said, "This is a turnpike project, and we have nothing to do with it. The state has nothing to do with it." So I said, what do we do? So I started going around, went to CVS, talked to the manager. They've been affected. Went to Quick Check. I went to Walgreens. Everybody's in effect. Then I started going around in the same mall where I have, and everybody has the same problem. We are losing close to about $600 a day. That's a lot of money if you count for like 13 months. So I don't know. We are just going day by day, like, you know. I appreciate if you know.
We're going to look into it.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Christopher Riggi?
Hi, everybody. Christopher Riggi. I co-own the Town Square Laundromat in Town Square Plaza. Again, just like everybody, my neighbors and my landlord has said, it's a concern. My business has only been open for 9 months. I know there's it's a concern. And I think it translates to even the local economy and even to the town eventually. It's just whatever you guys can do, lead us in the right direction. I invite you guys all to come to my place, try it out, try Rich's sandwiches at his place. I think you'd like what we're doing over there. I invite you all, see what we're doing over here. That's it. Just whatever you guys can do for us, lead us in the right direction. Any recommendations? I mean, I'm a little new to all this. I mean, I'm not from the area. I know the bridges are a concern. I know the infrastructure in the state's a very big issue. Funding's an issue. But it's a concern. But thank you for hearing us out, and whatever you guys can recommend, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Simon Leachy?
Simon Leachy here?
Town Square Eastern?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Joyce Atkins? Same, okay. Okay. And Patel, Mr. Patel, same project? Yeah, okay,
Okay.
that's it.
We're going to look into it. Thank you all for coming. Council member comments? Any council members have any comments? Yes, Mrs. Panos?
I neglected to say at the beginning of the meeting, but Councilman Rosencrantz, his brother-in-law passed away, and I just want to extend condolences to him, his family, and his wife. That's why he's not here tonight, so I want to acknowledge that. Thank you.
Any other council member comments? Okay, I'll close that portion. Report of the clerk. Do you have a report tonight?
For the month of June 2015, we collected $75,246.38, which was basically a lot of the liquor licenses. And as I explained before to Mr. Green, we still have quite a few outstanding licenses that have not been approved yet, but they will be being approved over the next couple of months. Instead of all being done in June, we're probably going to go into July, August, and possibly September on these. That's it.
Could I have a motion to accept the report?
Move it.
Second.
Roll call.
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Butler? Mr.
He's off
Cahill?
days.
Yes.
Mr. Green? Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Off days.
Mrs. Sohar? Yes. President Walker?
Yes.
6 yes.
Do we have a report of the clerk? I mean, the attorney? That was the clerk.
None tonight.
Okay, Mr. Marion, administrative report, please.
None tonight.
Don't forget what I'm going to correct them on that one.
No respect, they're leaving right before you. No
Rodney-
respect. They're leaving right before you report.
That's usually something I say after I get them talking. All right, good evening, Mayor and Council. The administrative report for June 29, 2015. Item number 1, as a reminder, Old Bridge customers who lose power for any reason during the summer months should call JCP&L directly at 1-888-544-4877 to report outages. For updated information on power outages, service issues, storm restoration, or important safety tips, residents should also visit the JCP&L First Energy 24/7 Power Center at www.firstenergycorp.com. As council is probably aware, we had 1,300 customers out in Old Bridge over the weekend. All power was restored as of 7:30, 7:15 last night. But again, if people have outages, that's one of those things you can track your outage and make sure that they know that you're out. Just want a reminder before the summer months come. It's not just for winter, our JCP&L power station. Item number 2, on June 17, 2015, the Township Engineering Division held a pre-construction meeting with Z Brothers Concrete for the Trans-Old Bridge Road resurfacing project. Construction is scheduled to begin during the week of July 20th. Item number 3, on June 22nd, the Township Clerk's Office received the 2014 municipal audit from Holman Frenia and Allison PC. Hard copies of the municipal audit have been forwarded to the Township Council. A resolution authorizing certification of the annual audit will be included on the consent agenda for the July 13, 2015 council meeting. If anybody has any questions or issues, we had no comments, no recommendations, a clean audit through and through. So please, if you have any questions or issues, and I'm thinking Mr. Green and Mr. Rosencrantz will be doing a finance committee on the evening of the 15th. Item number 4, 2 online reverse auctions for Old Bridge Township are scheduled for July 1st, and this is for our municipal energy procurement for 2015-2016 for municipal buildings, facilities, and streetlights. You have another resolution tonight on for the main loads as a kind of a trigger resolution that authorizes us to enter into a contract should those parameters meet the guidelines set forth by our advisor. And then we will do subsequent resolutions at the next council meeting memorializing those contracts. Item number 5, the second phase of the 2014 annual road resurfacing program began in April. To date, Lucas Brothers has completed drainage and related work on Bartlett Court, Benjamin Court, Rose Lane, and Sheila Court. ADA ramps have been installed on Bartlett Court, Frederick Place, Greenwood Drive, Park Circle, Rose Lane, Sasha Court, Sherwood Drive, Sheila Court, Victorian Drive, and Wellesley Road. And milling and resurfacing have been completed on Bartlett Court, Exeter Road, Frederick Place, Harold Place, John Partridge Road, Rose Lane, Sasha Court, Sheila Court, Sherwood Lane, and Victorian Drive. The contractor is scheduled to perform milling and resurfacing work on Bentley Avenue and George Avenue during the second week of July, weather permitting. Item number 6, the township is now accepting brick, block, and concrete at our municipal recycling center, Monday through Saturday between the hours of 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. For additional information or to make an appointment for drop-off, residents should contact the Department of Public Works, 732-721-5600, at extension 6140, or they can visit our township website, www.oldbridge.com. This new expanded recycling is for residents only and must have an appointment so that somebody's on site to be able to assist with the concrete block and things. So another good job by our Department of Public Works. Item number 7, The Old Bridge Food Bank will still be collecting items during the summer months. Collection bins will be set up in a municipal administration building, recreation, civic center, and senior center. For additional information on the food bank or a list of needed items, residents should contact the Old Bridge Food Bank, 732-721-5600, extension 6625, or extension 2022. I spoke with Ms. Amabile today. The summer months, that's when the donations slow down, but probably when people really need assistance. So please, if you have any spare time or assistance, please spread the word that we are accepting donations for the food bank. Item 8, July 3rd, all municipal offices will be closed for business in observance of the 4th of July holiday. Item 9, starting July 5th, our Old Bridge Public Library central location will be open on Sundays between the hours of 12 p.m. and 5 p.m. Passport service will also be available on Sundays from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. For additional information on summer programs and activities, residents can visit our Old Bridge Public Library website at www.oldbridgelibrary.org. And finally, item number 10, on July 19th, the Township of Old Bridge, in conjunction with the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders, will be hosting a Middlesex County Household Hazardous Waste Drop-Off Day. And that'll be from 8 p.m. to 2 p.m. at our Township Department of Public Works facility, located right here in the municipal complex. This service is for county residents only, and proof of residency will be required to participate. For additional information on the Household Hazardous Waste Drop-Off Days, you can contact Middlesex County, as well as go to the Middlesex County website, and we'll be having information posted on our website as we get closer to that date. And just a happy, safe 4th of July holiday.
Mary, your mic's on.
That is on a Sunday.
Is it Sunday? It is a Sunday?
I had to
Okay.
double check myself.
Yeah,
Mrs.
because
Sohori.
people are going to think
Usually they're on
Sunday.
Saturdays, but they do have 2 Sunday locations. I
Okay.
want to say one in East Brunswick and then one in Old Bridge, and then one I think in like East Brunswick in November.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions for Mr. Marion? Do I have a motion to accept his
I'll
report?
move it.
Roll call?
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Green? Yes. Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar?
Yes.
President Walker?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Marion.
Quick comment. I'd like to congratulate all our high school seniors. I participated in the class of 2015 this past Tuesday, and an outstanding class academically, attending some of the finest institutions in the state, in the United States. So congratulations to all the hardworking seniors, and before you know it, they'll be back in school. And just best wishes to them and a safe summer. Thank you.
Next, we have our consent agenda, C1 through C13. Is anyone here from the public wish to speak on any of these items? We'll close the public portion. I'm going to pull out C5. We're not going to vote on that until after we speak at the first reading. Okay. Anyone need any separations?
C6 and C8, please, for abstention.
Anyone else?
C1, C2, C8, C9, and C13.
Anyone else? Do I have a motion to move the balance?
I'll move it.
Roll call?
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar?
Yes.
President Walker?
Yes.
6 yes on the balance.
C1, Mr. Green.
I think generally we vote on the bank depositories the first meeting in January at a reorganization meeting. I'd like to know why we're voting on a bank depository at this time of the year. And this, by the way, this is a bank that's not even located in Old Bridge. So I'd like a explanation for that from somebody.
Yeah, Mr.
That'd
Marion.
be me. Thank you, Mr. Green. It's my understanding that the Director of Finance did meet with this institution and did recommend adding it to our list of depositories. We have a number of different depositories we do each year, as you know, at the January reorganization meeting. So his recommendation was to add it on the list. At this point, there'll be no money probably invested this year, but it was another option for a depository depending on what we do. So that's why it appears today.
I thought it was odd. I didn't know if there was a specific reason. Obviously,
No, it's a banking institution, and again, to list the depositories we currently use, but we would add it next year as a recommended.
Yeah, well, I'm voting no on this because it's not a bank that's located in Old Bridge, and I think all the banks in Old Bridge should get the first opportunity for us to deposit our money, unless this bank comes up with a big deal that we don't know of, or that I don't know of.
I think it's always good to have options and
Well, we got
competition,
plenty of
but you're
options.
you're absolutely correct. It is out of sequence, but again, recommendation is to add to the list. Next year, you'll probably see it on the list again with other depositories that may or may not be located in Old Bridge. We don't usually limit that to Old Bridge, but we have to make sure that we have the best deal for banking services, but.
Okay.
Any other questions on it? Okay. Do I have a motion to move C1?
Move it.
Second.
Roll call?
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Kao?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
No.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar? Yes. President Walker?
Yes.
Hannah's is back and she votes
Oh,
yes.
I'm sorry. 4 no, 3 yes.
C2, Mr. Green?
Yeah, if you give me a second to pull it up, from what I remember.
Will you just read the vote back on that one? I'm sorry. Excuse me. What was the vote on that one? Still, I'm sorry.
4 yes. I'm sorry. 4 yes and 4 no and 3 yes.
No, that's not
No,
right. I think we have to
I'm
redo
sorry,
it.
it was reversed.
Reversed.
It was reversed.
Okay, thank you.
4 yes, 3 no.
Thank you. I thought it was 5, but.
It's 5, right? Because I came in late, so it's 5 yes.
Oh, she came in late, okay.
So it's 5 yes.
Yeah.
1 no, I thought.
There was just 1 no.
You want to do it over?
Yeah, well, let's do it over to get it right.
I think it should have it right by now. I don't know why we're doing this over. It's ridiculous.
Do you have it totaled up?
Yeah, fine.
Okay.
Count the people on the dais. 1 no, the rest voted yes.
C2, Mr. Green?
Bremerton, Verna engineers are being paid, they're a great engineering firm, they're being paid $4,800 to do some engineering work at location of number 5 and number 7. Number 5 and number 7 Cressida. I don't know, I like more about this because they are private residences, and I don't know why the township is paying professional work to do an investigation for an oil condition that should be paid for by the residents of those houses.
Yes, Mr. Marion?
I thank you, Council President. As mentioned in my administrative report last 2 weeks ago, as well as this evening, I alluded to it, we had some issues regarding the curbing contract at Cressida. When doing the work, the contractor for the township did find there was an oil or fuel line, like a home fuel line. Upon stopping the job, we have to, by state law, notify the DEP and then retain a licensed site remediation professional. We initially had a $1,000 PO to get the job tested, so the soil could be tested, but it did cost total of $4,000, whatever the number is, $135. So we are required, we did take the soil off site, was tested, and taken immediately to someplace else. So it's part of our contract, Mr. Green. Normally, we would not do work on private, but this was soil required by the state,
Well,
related to our curbing contract.
well, that's fine, but you mentioned a prior meeting. You never mentioned oil related to a problem. You just mentioned Cressida,
No, I think
doing
I-
curbing on Cressida, but maybe I missed it, okay?
Yeah, I think when I gave the update, I did allude to the fact, well, I did actually, I mentioned when we talked about Cressida, we had an issue with oil that we were looking into. So I apologize if it wasn't as thorough of a
Well,
report
I could have missed
or
it, that's
update.
fine, but I don't, isn't it the homeowner's responsibility when there's an oil condition which results from an oil tank, or I understand that
I think there's
location-
going to be more to it ultimately. I think the problem is when our contractor the moment our contractor touched that area, it then became the township's issue from the curbing contract perspective, and we had to comply, notifying DEP. We immediately got a proposal to have somebody out there, because we thought it was going to be a bigger problem, but ultimately, there may be discussions with the homeowners regarding what's there and what needs to be there and how that gets remediated long-term, but unfortunately, that's what happens in the public sector. It is township contract. We had to make sure that we followed all the rules and regulations set forth by DEP.
Is this, I know there's maybe large storage tanks that does now or had in the past pumped oil into homes as opposed to necessarily a homeowner having a tank on their property?
I believe it's something, but these are older, I think this is an older neighborhood. I think that that's the case with this regarding the underground tank was something that they've known of but didn't know specifically where that location. It was a surprise, Mr. Green, to tell you the truth. We got the call, we said there's going to be an issue, weren't sure what the extent of the environmental issue was, and we had to kind of move on it, so.
So you paid the $4,800. Is it over now that we have no more responsibility as far as the oil or?
The licensed site remediation professional tested the soil. The issue was not as big, but I can't answer you as to whether or not that's the final closeout, but I will make sure council knows. I'll talk to engineering.
Because I don't want the township to set a precedent and.
No precedent. This is the
Corrections
township's
that
responsibility.
other homeowners will say, well, you did it for this house, well, what about my house, you know?
This is the portion the township's responsible, is our curb contracting, and that's what we found. So ultimately, we may be able to discuss recouping costs through the environmental JIF. There's other opportunities like we've had, but we had to address it immediately.
Okay, I ask these questions because I don't work every day on the township. I mean, I'm an elected official, so the day-to-day business, I don't know what goes on, so that's why
Some people tell me I don't work every day in the township, but I do. I'm here, Mr. Green, so, no.
That's why I ask these questions.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Would you like to move C2?
Mrs. President? Yeah, from what they say is true. At one time, that whole development had a standard distribution center that went to all houses. So there might be many more oil lines under the ground. They're not on, they go on to people's property, but this, if they're doing curbs and sidewalks, it had to be out on our property.
The line was just in the soil.
It was in the soil.
It's in the soil, yeah. I've dug up several oil lines in that area that came from ages ago, so.
So we should charge Mr. Mollis. Actually, Council President, what I'll do is I'll talk to engineering. I'll give a little status update at the next council meeting, so everybody knows and comfortable. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to move C2? Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Kale?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar?
Yes.
President Walker?
Yes.
7 yes.
C6 is just for abstention, so
Correct.
do I have a motion?
Second.
Roll call?
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Kale?
Abstain?
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar?
Yes.
President Walker?
Yes. C8, Mr. Green.
Abstention.
I think I know. I think I know the answer. I just want to know where the cell tower is that we're allowing for the additional service.
Mr. Marion?
Cell tower's out back here on Municipal Complex.
Okay, we have, but you look at this and it looks like one service provider, but there's multiple service providers on that cell tower, right?
That's correct. We have, I think we have 5 or 6 carriers on there currently, and we had to go out to bid when we bid that land lease, we have to bid that out every series of, I think it's every 5 years or whatever. So that's what that is. Cell tower out in the back.
It's not every 5 years. What it is the original contract had extensions to it. This was the last 5-year period, so it had to go out to rebid again. They were the only bidder.
What's the total length of that contract? Is it usually?
I believe it was, let's see, it'd be 15 years?
Is there's percentage increases? Okay.
Correct. It was either 15 or 20. I don't know what the initial year, I think the initial was 5 and then 3 extensions after, I believe it was. But this year was the final year. It expires the end of July, so we had to go out to bid. They were the only bidder. And this is the same yearly amount that we're getting from all the providers on that tower with the increase of 5% per annum.
And I think since 2005, Mr. Green, we did collect, I think from 2005 off carrier, $336,000 total from this particular carrier. This is Sprint Nextel. So that's a big size. Well, every year it's like 19,000, and it's escalating, as Ken said, 30,866, 93 in 2014, 15.
That's great, thank you.
Do I have a motion for C8?
I'll move it.
Roll call?
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Cahill?
Abstain.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Morales?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar? Yes. President Walker?
Yes.
6 yes, 1 no.
Mr. Butler's back on dais.
Mr. Butler, did you want to vote on that?
Abstain.
6 yes, 2 abstentions.
What do you got next?
C9, Mr. Green.
I separated for an abstention, if anybody else wants to talk about it.
Anyone else want to talk about it? Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Roll call?
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Abstain?
Mr. Morales?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar? Yes. President Walker?
Yes.
7 yes, 1 abstention.
C13, Mr. Green.
Just had a question, does this agreement include snow removal?
Yes, Council President, if I can address Mr. Green, this includes snow and ice removal as well as street lighting. I think the only two, I think the township does provide recycling services and also leaf collection.
Okay, thank you. I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Morales?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar? Yes. President Walker?
Yes.
8 yes.
Ordinance for first reading. Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $500,000 for the acquisition and installation of a generator for the public library and authorizing the issuance of $356,250 in bonds. Mr. Marion.
Thank you, Council President. This is definitely going to require some background information. If we can kind of go back in our Wayback Machine to 2014, administration made a presentation regarding all of our capital budgets, and we mentioned this as a potential 2014 capital expense in terms of trying to get all of our facilities pretty much storm-ready, up-to-date, including emergency generators installed at the township buildings on the municipal complex. If you recall, through the Homeland Security Grant, we actually funded the upgrades to our Emergency Operations Center upstairs, as well as the installation of emergency generators for the Municipal Administration Building. We did use a portion of the grant money to do plans and apply for a second round of funding through the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program for the acquisition of a generator for the library building. I'm going to read. I'm sorry, Mr. Butler? Oh, okay. I thought you had a question. In regards to the update, let me just kind of bring you up to speed. So we applied for this grant about a year ago. On June 1st, 2015, Old Bridge received its official letter from the State Attorney General's office that FEMA, after more than a 2-year qualification application process, will be providing the township with a federal share of $125,000 in hazard mitigation funding to install an emergency generator, which is 400 kW natural gas, at the Old Bridge Township Library. The total project cost, based on estimates provided by CHA and Breaker Electric during our planning phase, was approved at $500,000, with the remainder of the difference between $125,000 being funded from the local capital budget. We have until May 19, 2017 to spend the grant and complete the project, whose goal is to make another one of our critical facilities better equipped for natural disasters and other emergencies. Our original allocation letter issued in October 2013 stated our municipality is receiving an allocation because our request to pursue energy resilience scored high among the higher project submittals in the state. So initially tonight, what you have before you is the capital bond ordinance that allow us to fund the acquisition and installation of that generator. What Council President pulled off, the resolution, is the grantee-subgrantee agreement that we would enter into with the state of New Jersey and the OEM for that funding, with all the rules and requirements to go with that.
Anyone have any questions?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Green.
C5, which was pulled, says that an award letter has been received in the amount of $500,000. So that's not correct?
C5 authorizes the execution of the grantee sub-grantee agreement for the $125,000. Is that the resolution?
One,
sir, or the
two,
agreement?
three, yeah, paragraph 4, that's the resolution, paragraph 4.
Yeah, it should be the grant. I think that the total project amount is $500,000, but the grant amount that we're entering is $125,000.
Correct.
So the 350,000 is going someplace else?
$350,000 is part of that total allocation for the acquisition installation of that emergency generator. Total cost of project is $500,000.
But you're only getting 150,000.
We're only getting $125,000 from the grant. We're bonding the rest under our capital budget.
Well, then this is wrong the way it reads.
I'm not a resolution drafter, I'm a project
Okay.
discusser.
So we're getting $125,000.
$125,000 grant, total cost of the project is $500,000.
Which the remainder will be funded under the township bonding.
Correct. When we, if you recall, Mr. Green, when we presented our capital budget, we talked about a lot of projects that we had been discussing. We initially, because of the timing and probably because of coming a little closer to the Hurricane Sandy upgrades that we were doing, we looked to think, we talked about that as a 2014 capital budget item. It did not come in. We did not get a confirmation of the allocation until right now, June, like 2 years later.
What about, why didn't we fund this under the ESIP program that we're working on?
The generator acquisition was not included as part of our ESIP because we did not have confirmation of the grant. It wasn't pre-qualified as part of it.
Doesn't save.
It's not energy efficiency, it's energy.
Doesn't save energy. It wouldn't qualify.
Okay. All right, thank you.
But I would note, though, for the library building, we have to make sure that that dovetails very closely, because with the energy ESIP programs that we're going to be doing building for all of our facilities, that will dictate the size and capacity of these generators. So that's something that we've been working on. We did fund that initial planning phase for the grant through that initial Homeland Security grant. We had like a $500,000, $600,000 grant we'd gotten for a number of different facilities upgrades, including the council chambers, as well as our Emergency Operations Center, as well as our SharePoint system for the police department. There are a whole bunch of grant things that we've done. This is a separate and distinct grant helping us to upgrade facilities.
Okay, good explanation, thank you.
Thanks.
Else have any questions?
Just for
Yes.
clarification, Mr. Green, the award letter we got from the state awarded the percentage of a $500,000 project maximum amount. That's what was submitted. So they then determined that of the $500,000, they would, through FEMA and subgrantee, give us $125,000. And so the award letter is based on a $500,000 project. That's maximum amount that we could spend, total package for the project, and that's the way the award letter came in. Not that we were awarded $500,000.
Again, no,
The portion.
125,000.
Exactly.
Okay, well, that clears it up, thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion to move this?
I'll move it.
Second.
Roll call?
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Butler?
Yes.
Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar? Yes. President Walker?
Yes.
8 yes.
Now I'd like to make a motion to move C5.
Move it.
Roll call?
Dr. Anderson?
Which one are we on now?
Well, we were on the first reading ordinance for the library generator. We couldn't pass C5 until we voted on this. That's why we're voting on C5
all
right
So we
now.
got to do C5 first.
We did the
Okay.
first reading first. Now we're doing the C5.
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos? Mrs. Sohar? President Walker?
Yes.
8 yes.
FR2, an ordinance fixing the salaries of certain officers, employees of the Township of Old Bridge for the calendar year 2015. Do I have a second? Second. Roll call.
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Butler?
No.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Abstain.
Mrs. Sohar?
Yes.
President Walker?
Yes.
6 yes, 1 no, 1 abstention.
Public comments on any subject matter. Anyone here wish to speak? Yes. Tony?
Tony Pasquitti, 40 Southwood Drive, Old Bridge. Preliminary public comments state one subject for a maximum of 5 minutes. I would like for you to consider to put on a next council meeting agenda a discussion to change the word one to any. I've been at council meetings where there have been more than one subject that I wanted to speak about, but I had to wait to the end of the night to discuss. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? I'll close the public portion. Council member comments? No, Councilor. I would just like to wish everyone a happy and healthy 4th of July. Now, do I have a motion for adjournment?
Move it.
Do I have a second? Roll call?
Debbie?
Dr. Anderson?
Hold it.
Oh,
No, I want to wish everybody a very happy 4th of July, and I want them to be careful and to be safe during the holidays. Thank you.
okay, continue your roll call.
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Green? Mr. Mollis? Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar? President Walker?
Yes.
8 yes.